Hi everyone, welcome back to Gavin Reads It All. Today I'm going to be doing episode 9 of Emboss. Emboss is my Read It or Unhaul It series where I use my fancy embosser to stamp the books that I read and like and want to keep. And I also have the option of tossing books as well. So if I don't like the book, I can toss it. Or if I really don't fancy reading it and I'm kind of questioning why it's on my shelves, I can toss it as well. And every book that gets tossed gets donated to my local library. So episode 9 of Emboss or Toss is going to be a highly anticipated thing for me because I have been really excited to have a randomizer for my book collection spreadsheet. So let's go over to my spreadsheet. And this is definitely different compared to the spreadsheet that I made myself back in the early days of Emboss or Toss. Like in the first few episodes of Emboss or Toss, this was looking rough. It was looking rough, but I've been pretty much working on it all year, and I had help from the amazing Cam as well, who managed to make it look beautiful and also help me with the formulas and also made the creme de la creme, which is the randomizer. So I will leave a link to Cam down below, and this is a custom spreadsheet. And if you have seen the hit series Shelf Reflection by the icon, the diva, the booktube sensation JD rereads, then you will also notice I think my spreadsheet looks like very similar but also a little bit different. Okay, I haven't completely ripped Jade off. But before I do the randomizer, let me give you a quick little tour of my new spreadsheet so you can see some of the stats and stuff, because we love stats. And I'm wondering if maybe I should do stats throughout the year for Emboss or Toss, see where we start 2026 and then end 2026 with the total number of books read and the total number of pages read as well. I think that could be pretty cool, because it would be nice to get that TBR down just a little bit, wouldn't it? And I'm not going to give you a full tour of the spreadsheet because I still want to work on the other tabs, but I will show you 3 of them. So this is the dashboard at the minute. As you can see, it says 2,363 books owned. This also includes all of my audiobooks. So I have actually gone through my audiobook collection on like Audible, Libro, Everend as well, the audiobooks that I've unlocked on Everend. Any audiobook that I now actually own, I have included in the spreadsheet, which is great for me because when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. I never actually used to include them in my spreadsheet. So now we actually have a bit more. So this isn't all the physical books I have. This is all the books I have access to. And yeah, you can see here the percentage. I've read 59.84% of my books. And in terms of pages as well, I do like to actually track the pages. I did put in all the page counts for every single book. Took me a long time to do, I tell you. But I went through every single book on my shelves and I wrote down the pages. Like, you know, like the very last page, I would put that as the total number of pages. Because sometimes those page counts are wrong on Goodreads, Storygraph, anything like that. The page counts can be wrong because it includes the back matter, the front matter. So I painstakingly went through every single book that I own and put them in. And I'm telling you, it took nearly all of 2025 to do. So you can also say like the age range as well, my adult, my young adult, my middle grade, and even a little bit of children's there, a little bit of children's. And then the book type as well. So you can say I have 1,533 novels and 630 manga. And then everything else is just like all the way down there, you know? So novels and manga are definitely the 2 most that I have. And so if we go on to my book collection here, I did already pretty much have like the layout myself, but I really needed help with the formula. So that's where Cam really came in clutch. And Cam managed to honestly sort out so much. But I did all the genres, which I'm so honestly, look at how colourful that looks. Like, it just looks so good. Yeah, I've got all the pages in, and age range, book format, book type, series, if it belongs to a series, author, title, and if it's read or TBR or project. Now, I did not want to bombard my spreadsheet with so much data, so I haven't included so many things because I think including too much in your spreadsheet is just a little bit too overwhelming and it would make me not want to fill it in. But maybe over the year I might add more like columns, like anything that is like necessary for Emboss or Toss, because I think that's what I'm going to predominantly use this for, as well as to keep track of my books. But yeah, I love it. I think it looks great. But yeah, Cam also helped me with like the genre thing, so I can filter this entire spreadsheet and pick out all of like the fantasy if I wanted to, and same with the book types as well. If I wanted to, you know, just look at my non-fiction, which I doubt I have very many of, or like all the light novels, graphic novels, anthologies, you know, I can filter it, you know, which is so much easier than what I used to do. Way easier than what I used to do. But the creme de la creme of the spreadsheet is, of course, the randomizer. Randomizer, you're a randomizer. Hopefully with the click of this button, it will randomize my entire TBR and it will pick a book for me. and it can be anything, which is what I really wanted for Emboss Toss. I really wanted in the early days to just randomly select any book off my TBR, no preconceived judgments, and go with what it says. Now, I will preface this by saying, if a book comes up that I randomize and I really genuinely do not want to read it right now, but I still want to read it in the future, then I can just pass. I can just pass. The 2026 vibe this year is to not force myself to read books that I don't really fancy reading right now. Doesn't mean I never want to read it. It just means I'm not in the mood for it right now. So also, for example, I have just finished the entire Game Changer series by Rachel Reed, and I am all burnt out on romance. If a romance comes up on the randomizer, I'm going to randomize again. I cannot read romance right now. And it's the same with like if I get a massive book that I really don't think I can get through, then I will randomize again. So yeah, try not to hold that against me if something comes up. Although if something does come up and I just genuinely don't know why I still own it, then I will toss it per Emboss Toss rules. But other than that, I think we should just get stuck in, because I have been excited to do this. I've been so excited to start this for such a long time, and I just want to know what I'm reading next. I just want to know what I'm reading next, even if I can't get to it right now because the finale of The Traitors is on tonight. I just want to know what I'm reading next. So let's do it. Let's try and randomize this first book. Let's hope it's a good one. Okay. Randomized. Just take like a little while, which is honestly great. Wrath of the Triple Goddess, Rick Riordan. I'm middle grade now. I don't think I really fancy that. It's literally on here as well, and I haven't read book number 6 yet. Which, you know, if I get a series and I haven't read a book before it or a couple of books before it, then I can read the book that I'm on. So a series comes up, I'll read a book from that series. But I don't think I even fancy Percy Jackson number 6, to be honest, to start Emboss Toss. So we're going to randomize again. You remember in the early days of Emboss Toss, when I would do the random number generator, and sometimes I'd be like, you know what, no. You know what, no. Oh, we're getting flashbacks. We're coming full circle with Emboss Toss. Let's randomize again. Let's see what we get. Please be a good one. Please don't be romance. Please don't be... Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, this is actually kind of a newish one on my TBR. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It literally, I pre-ordered it from more. You know what, let me go and get it. In fact, let me bring you with me. And look who's hanging out in my library. I just walked in to get my book, and Ash is just perched. Yeah, literally, I think this is actually the newest book that I own. The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Sotto Yambao. And this author did write Watermoon. Watermoon. And I didn't really love Watermoon. But I love the look of this one. So let me get you in some better lighting. Is this better? Yeah, this is better lighting. So yeah, the Elsewhere Express. And I'm really excited to read this. It looks absolutely beautiful. Pre-ordered it from Waterstones. So we follow Rhea, and she is a bit of a lost soul. She goes on the subway to get home, but she loses consciousness. I think she falls asleep on the subway, but she ends up waking up on the Elsewhere Express. The Elsewhere Express offers its riders a chance to find purpose in their life, but only if she finds her compartment in time. It sounds a little bit like the Polar Express. We have Rhea trying to like race through this train. She meets someone on this train as well who she bonds with, and I think there's also a mysterious stowaway, and there's some darkness there. So it sounds really exciting. It sounds really good. But yeah, I think what drew me in is the fact that it sounds a little bit like the Polar Express. So I kind of love that. And also the idea of trying to find your life's purpose is something that I think I'm going to really relate to. So even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Watermoon, I want to give this author a second chance. Let's hope it's a good one. Let's hope we're starting Emboss Toss episode 9 with an emboss. Are you cutting your nails, Papa? Oh, you're so cute. Oh, hiya. So if you end up enjoying this video, please do give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're reading right now.
All right, let's go visit this island.
Well, have you seen how miserable it is outside? Non-stop rain. Gosh, it's even worse upstairs. Wow, Toby, have you heard that? Have you heard that? Well, I ain't leaving the house today. I have had a terrible weekend. I want to talk about it before we dive into my first book of Emboss Toss, episode 9. But, you know, this is a story of perseverance. This is a story, well, hopefully a morality tale of allowing emotions to overcome oneself. So I need to make my second coffee of the day. It is now 10:20 a.m. And I have someone coming to check the electricals at 11:45, which I could do without, honestly. But yeah, I had an awful weekend because I did my Game Changers vlog, my heated rivalry reactions and everything, to the TV show, to all 6 of the books. And it's a long vlog. It's over 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I was editing as I was pretty much going all last week. I spent the entire week reading that series. And every time I finished a book, I would watch an episode of Heated Rivalry and record my reaction. And editing the reactions is a pain in the arse because like my screen record is still going a little bit faster than my actual recorded reaction. So I have to keep lining it up every like 5 minutes. And that was a pain in the arse. I had to do 4 overlays as well so I could avoid copyright and stuff like that. So it's a pain in the arse anyway. But by Saturday, I was up to episode 6, like editing the reaction. Episode 6 is the final one. Got to around about 2 hours and 30 in the vlog. So really I only had like 10 minutes left of the vlog, which I had like 40 minutes of raw footage to edit. And it would have just been like, oh, the vlog ends at 2 hours 43. I was up at like 2 hours 30 something. And it just kept crashing and lagging. Final Cut Pro just kept crashing and lagging. And I was starting to get really frustrated, wherever I put it. I was starting to get really frustrated. And this is where I let my emotions take over because I was so close to finishing editing the vlog. And yeah, I yanked the external hard drive out, which I should not have done. Ash is now freaking eaten and is making all of the mouth sounds. This is honestly the worst timing you could have picked, Ash. I'm in the middle of a heartfelt, powerful story. And all I'm hearing is... I think he's just eating it up, that's why. He's eating up my story. And so yeah, I let my emotions take over and out of frustration because I edited 3 minutes in an hour and a half. Every time I moved the mouse, that spinning wheel of death would show up. And yeah, I was getting so frustrated because I was so close to finishing. And so I just yanked the external hard drive out. And then I tried to connect it back into the cable and it wouldn't connect again. And I was like, shit. So I looked at the thing where it connects and there was like a little tongue thing just out of place. So I got a little knife and I used it to put the tongue thing back in its place. And it worked, like the cable would connect to the hard drive again. However, it wouldn't connect to my Mac. As in, there was like a clicking sound in the hard drive. And so I Googled it and it said, oh, that's the clicking sound of death. Of death. And bear in mind, I edit from the external hard drive because my Mac does not have the space. Does not have the room for like editing. And so I edit from an external hard drive, which is like not the best, honestly, but like it's the only thing I can do. And then I had everything, my entire projects and everything on the hard drive, including the vlogs that I haven't finished yet and I don't have the footage for anymore because like I imported from my, you know, my, what do you call it again? my SD card. So I imported stuff that wasn't on my SD card anymore. And with the hard drive now being dead, I had lost all of those vlogs and I'd lost all of that progress with the editing as well. But the good thing is I still had all the footage and all the reaction footage on my SD card for my Heated Rivalry series vlog because I filmed it all last week. I just wiped the memory card before I started filming that. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to re-import everything, but I need a new hard drive because I don't have the storage on my Mac to import everything. And, you know, that be that. So I had to wait for a new hard drive. I started editing the book portion of the vlog because that was a lot shorter than the like episode reactions. So I started editing that. Hard drive came on the Sunday so I could actually start doing the reactions. And yeah, I had to essentially start from scratch with the vlog that's over 2 hours long. It had how much raw footage? It must have had like what, 10 hours raw footage, 11 hours raw footage to go through, and I was absolutely sick. The idea of doing something twice makes me physically sick. Like honestly, I was about to just delete it. I was about to be like, you know what, I'm not going to do the vlog. Even though I'd already filmed everything, I'd nearly finished editing it, I'm not doing it. Couldn't do it. But I persevered. It is now done. It's only taken all of last week to film and read and react, and I'm 2 days behind now. I'm 2 days behind. It is now Tuesday, and I should have finished this vlog on Saturday. That's when it should have finished. So I feel so behind. I haven't started my first Emboss Tartt book, and I'm gutted that I wasted so much time. Like, honestly, I'm just so fed up with that. But I mean, I'm happy now. I'm definitely happy now because, you know, it's done. So there's that. And Saturday was just a shitty day anyway, I'm telling you. I was so fed up. So fed up on Saturday. So that vlog should be out. Do check it out. It only took twice to edit. So what I'm doing now is I'm making myself a coffee and I'm actually going to sit down and start the Elsewhere Express. I'm so excited to move on from all things heated rivalry, from all things game changers, from all things romance. I'm done. I am done. So I'm going to start this now. I'm genuinely so excited too. I also have nearly finished my Disney Castle Lego. That's one thing as well. So I started building the Disney Lego Castle over the new year, and I had all the starting footage on the start of my 25 books to read in 2025 cleanup vlog, where I finished the books that I was supposed to read in 2025, and I've lost all the footage for that vlog. You know how I stopped a vlog to do TBR traders? That was the vlog that I stopped doing. I was like, okay, I'm going to come back to this vlog. I read 2 books for the 25 books to read in 2025 vlog, but that footage is now gone because I don't have it on my SD card. It's on my hard drive that's now broke. So that's one of the vlogs that I lost. So I can't do my 25 books to read in 2025 vlog anymore, because I've lost half the footage for it. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm much happier today. Well, I was much happier yesterday when I finally finished editing the damn thing. And yeah, so that out of the way, I've gotten it off my chest. You now know my, you know, villain origin story. You know that I have persevered, I have conquered. Editing that vlog was my literal journey to Modo. So it's all good now. Now we can continue being happy. We can continue and soldier on. And oh god, I'm so ready for this coffee. I'm so ready to read something else. Oh gosh, it's still absolutely gorgeous. I really do hope this is a good one. Also, this is the Ninja coffee machine my mum got me for Christmas, and I do absolutely love it. It just frosts the milk for you now. Like, technology has come such a long way. Well, unless it's me yanking it out. Also, one last thing, okay? So I finished editing the vlog yesterday, and then I exported it from Final Cut, and when I checked the exported video, the very first clip was corrupted, as in there was like a red screen, and it was the first 9 seconds of the vlog, and I had to quickly do something. It wasn't showing up like that in the editing software, so I just had to quickly fiddle with it, and then I exported it again, which took 2 hours, and then that finally worked. So yeah, I hadn't just finished my saga when I'd actually finished editing it, but I had to re-export it because for some reason the first clip was corrupted. Because, you know, nothing like a big fuck you to Gav in 2026. What's my Ash doing, eh? What's my Ash doing? Oh, is he telling me I need to do the dishes? Because I really do, don't I? I really do need to do dishes. I know. Oh, you're so beautiful. He's got the sniffles. He's got the sniffles. Sneezed quite a few times yesterday, didn't you? Didn't you? Yeah, we'll do some Lego today. We'll do some dishes today. We'll do some Ash cuddles today as well. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Oh, put around. Well, I'm sitting on the little stool right now while Ash has the proper chair. So I'm having to look all the way up there for the computer. But it's fine because I'm going to be reading anyway. So the electrical man came and I finished building the Lego Disney Castle. So that's all done. Glad that I finally have a task that's been getting done for the last, I want to say, like 23 days. It's the 27th today. Yeah, I think I started it on the 4th of January or maybe even the 3rd of January. It's been a long time anyway. So it's taken like nearly all month. So I'm glad that that's done. I can, you know, move on. But I have a couple of hours before some members' reading sprints and I have made it to page 162 of the Elsewhere Express. And I do like it. It is nice. And fortunately, I do think I'm in the mood for something that is a little... It's very much like Watermoon, where a lot of it is reflective and a lot of the writing comes across as quite lush and lyrical. And so there's a lot that's being said, but I don't think there's a whole lot being like shown exactly. There is definitely a plot that's unfolding as Rhea, our main character, she's on the Elsewhere Express, she's found herself on it, and it's a train for people who are adrift, but there hasn't really been that much of a focus on people who are adrift. I was thinking this would probably follow a lot of the formulas of like the Japanese healing fiction or like the slice of life books, but this has like a lot more plot over it, which is good, but it's just taken away from, I think, the messages that this book is trying to convey. I mean, maybe everything will come to a head at the end, so I'm not going to write this off just yet. Maybe everything will come to a head at the end and explain, you know, some things. But yeah, I think what we've been set up with is a lot of directness. So the conductor at the start, Rhea's woken up, and the conductor tells her pretty much like a lot of stuff just verbally. There's just a whole lot of dialogue talking about the Elsewhere Express and what it means, and it's a lot that is just being told to you. And I would have preferred to have found out some of these things about the Elsewhere Express through, I don't know, like maybe a walkthrough first, maybe like finding things out on a need to know basis. But there's just like so much dumped on you to begin with that I found it took away some of the shine from the imagination behind this. And also the sense of like trying to find your purpose. I feel like some of that is quite enforceful because, you know, we have this idea that you have to find your own way, but there's a lot of things to do with the Elsewhere Express that contradicts that. And it's almost like there's a whole lot of pressure on people to find that, or things will crumble, or things will like end. Like there's a lot riding on Rhea finding her compartment, which is like the goal of the book, is finding her compartment. And I don't know, like it could be a very thin line between being a little bit too forceful with its messaging in finding your purpose, juxtaposing that with, you know, there are people who maybe will never find their purpose in life, and that's fine too. You know, I feel like there is definitely a thin line between that. So it just feels like there's a whole lot being dumped on Rhea, that we are supposed to be getting something a little bit more cozy. But I think there is like a few plot points that's keeping it quite high stakes, because there is a stowaway and it's raining on the Elsewhere Express and it never rains, and there's definitely something mysterious and dark afoot. So it doesn't really fit into that cozy atmosphere for me personally. I can see that it would for certain people, but I think there's just like too much movement for it to really be an examination into people who are adrift, and more so, oh, we need to, you know, solve this mystery, which I do like that side of it, I really do. But I just find a lot of the goals that the author has for this book to be so conflicting, and I seem to remember having some of the same thoughts and opinions on Watermoon. It feels like the author wants to present certain themes and messages, but there's a lot of contradictory things in the way that she plots the book, in the way that she paces the book. And I do like Rhea. I think she's a great main character. She had a great introduction as well, because, you know, I'll not spoil anything, but, you know, she had like a purpose through her parents at the start of this book, and things don't quite go to plan. And when you feel like you have been, I guess, a pawn, it does add so much depth to Rhea and her sense of wanting to find purpose. But yeah, again, I feel like the Elsewhere Express is like kind of forcing her to, you know, find a purpose and stuff like that. I'm just like, you're preaching that she needs to, you know, find it herself and they can't intervene, and yet you're forcing her and she can't escape on this Elsewhere Express until she finds her compartment. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know what the message is supposed to be, but I'm sure by the end it'll be wrapped up in a nice little bow and it will come across a lot better. So yeah, it's actually not that long of a book, because there's a lot of pages that are like this, like your itinerary and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of blank pages, so I actually feel like I'll end up finishing this probably in the first couple of sprints today, and then we can pick my next book. Hopefully I've got my chair back by then. Sitting down here is not going to be great for my neck or my back or my... When I finish the Elsewhere Express, I'm going to see exactly what it is that I will be reading next. So here's the randomiser. Randomiser, randomiser, you're a randomiser. So yeah, I got the Elsewhere Express on the last randomiser, and I'll finish this most likely in the second sprint of today. So I would rather get this done so I can screen record this and put it in the vlog. But yeah, let's just see what we do next. Also, if I get romance, I'm randomizing again. If I get something I don't really fancy reading right now, I'll randomize again. Like, I'm not going to be strict. I'm not going to be a little bitch to myself. So just so you guys can see what it's like as well, shout out Cam who did this for me. The Secret History, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, I have been wanting to read it for a while, but I'm like, is Dark Academia really the vibe right now? 640 pages as well? Jeez Louise. The Secret History. Oh my god. It's one of those books that I got where I was like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely read it one day, but then the day has come. And I'm like, oh, I'm facing the consequences of my actions. Okay, I mean,
I've got nothing against it right now. I guess I'll do it.
I didn't even get to show you guys what it looks like under the dust jacket. Oh, it's so pretty. It is so pretty. I've just finished it, by the way. I'm currently on my second sprint. And I have managed to finish it. And I did like it. Like, it did get better by the end. But I don't think what this book is trying to say and what it's trying to do is married with what the actual book does. You know, like the plot is just so different to like the explorations I thought we were going to be exploring at the start of this book. So having different expectations going into it has definitely affected my enjoyment. But I still want to give this a 3-star because, yeah, there's still quite a lot to enjoy with the pacing of the story and what actually goes on the Elsewhere Express. I will say, though, that it doesn't make me want to go on the Elsewhere Express, to be honest. It isn't really the kind of place where I feel like it is an escape or somewhere where you can take solace in. I feel like maybe there was just like a little bit of mess there in terms of what the Elsewhere Express was supposed to represent and what the characters going onto this thing, what they were supposed to do. And, you know, I don't know, I'm a little bit confused after reading this, but I did enjoy the story. I just allowed myself to get lost in what was going on, and it was pleasant. It was very pleasant, but not new favourite. I probably did prefer this over Watermoon, and I don't think I will be embossing this. I'm not going to toss it anytime soon though, but it will most likely be in the next Unhaul that I do, where I will give it to my local library because I think they would definitely benefit from having it. And I do feel really bad as well because this is like one of the newest books in my collection, and I pre-ordered it from Waterstones, and it is absolutely stunning. But these things happen. You don't know if you're going to enjoy a book until you read it. So yeah, it does mean that I probably won't check out another book from this author in the future. I do think having to... Watermoon was fine. This one was good. So maybe we're on the upward trajectory. But yeah, I don't know. It really would depend on what the next book's plot is. But yeah, 3 stars. And I've had Ash keeping me company pretty much the entire time. I've been live for nearly 3 hours now. And Ash has just been on the nice comfy seat, haven't you? Yeah, he's been on the nice comfy seat. I've gotten a chair from the kitchen. I'm on the kitchen chair while you're on the nice comfy swivel seat. Oh, he's just so adorable. You just have the little sniffles. He sneezes every now and then, but you're warm, aren't you, Baba? You're so nice and warm as you are. You're so cute. So I did do the randomizer on the live show, and we saw what I got. We did. We saw what I got. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, it's not that I don't want to read this, and I am going to like start reading this now. I just don't know if this is the thing I'm in the mood for, but I'm going to give it a try. I will maybe attempt the first 50 to 100 pages. I've heard the chapters are incredibly long, so I will maybe try the first around about 100-ish pages. We'll see how far I get in tonight. All I know about this is that it is dark academia. It came out over 30 years ago, and it has been an inspiration for a lot of dark academia books that have come out over recent years. And there was a big boom of dark academia on BookTube a few years ago, so I was kind of caught up in that hype, and I think that's why I bought this book. And I did enjoy If We Were Villains by ML Rio, but I don't think I've enjoyed very many other dark academia books that I've read since then, so it really is hit or miss. But I'm gonna give this a good go. I just wasn't expecting it in Emboss or Toss. I wasn't expecting it today, but that's the whole point of the randomizer, because I don't think I would have fit this in on a TBR in the next few months that I can think of. So it does feel really good to take this off my TBR. Oh, well, we'll see though. If I soft DNF, I'll put it back on my shelves and I'll come back to it at a later date and randomize again and pick a book that I might be more in the mood for now. But we'll see. We'll see.
I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like this could be a 5-star read for me. So in this story, we're following this character named Erica, and she is a trans teacher, but she actually hasn't come out as trans to anybody in her life except for this other student named Abigail.
Oh my gosh, I was in the middle of getting my hair licked by Tobu. You know, getting my nightly bath, which he's been doing every night for the last, 3 nights. It's been so lovely, and I love getting it done. I was like, oh my god, yes. And then someone freaking knocked on my door, because there's, a dog roaming around. He's like, do you know whose dog this is? I was like, absolutely no clue, I'm sorry. Bless, though, bless. So nice of him to be looking after that dog, though, but still, he interrupted my bath time. Praying for the dog, though. I am so sorry if there's a lot of noise in the background. I'm currently doing my washing. Yes, I am. Feeling so super productive today. It is now like 1 p.m. My mum's just been, and I was at the gym this morning, made myself a lovely coffee, and the reading sprints last night went really well. And I did manage to get 66 pages into The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I'm actually not hating this. Like, I did buy it because I thought I would like it, but over the years I've been debating it, and I'm so sorry if that's so loud. I'm wondering if maybe I should delay this update, but I'm pretty sure there's like still half an hour left on the wash. And I just want to get cracking. I want to get back into this. But no, I'm really liking the first 66 pages of this. And I didn't even tell you what this is really about. And I don't really know exactly where we're headed exactly. But we have been following Richard. And he wanted to sign up for this Greek class at the university, but the professor who runs that class only accepts like a very limited number of students, and he already has 5 students in his class. So Richard is like trying to get into this class. So Richard has met the other students in that class, including someone called Bunny. And yeah, I did like Bunny by Mona Award, and I really liked If We Were Villains by ML Rio. So I'm trying to use my love for those books to help me with this one, because it is still like rather intimidating. But so far the setup of the story has been pretty good. The prologue was great, especially since there was mention of like a body and someone's plan. I love the first line of this. The snow in the mountains was melting and Bunny had been dead for several weeks before we came to understand the gravity of our situation. Like, that first line is absolutely killer. And I guess it's not really a spoiler for the fact that Bunny dies, considering it's like the first line. It's actually what's making me more invested in the story and more intrigued, because I have met Bunny now. And Bunny, definitely an interesting character, probably one of the most interesting characters out of the very few that we've met so far. And he was using the F slur just so willy-nilly, and I was like, you know what, I was liking you to begin with, and now you're massively homophobic. So I'm interested to see like what the characterization of Bunny is moving forward. What in the world happens to Bunny? How does he die? What led to it? And what was Richard's part in it? And the other characters who are in the class? There are a lot of intriguing questions in my head that I am genuinely very excited to find out the answers to. And the writing has been absolutely fine as well. The main character, Richard, has been fine as well. I like that he was he really wanted to go for this Greek class. And because he had to do a lot of these like weird things that the professor's asking him to do, he's like, how am I going to back out of this? You know what? Actually, no. I want to say this through because it's so incredibly weird that the professor is asking me to do all of this stuff. And that curiosity is what is driving him forward. The literal ground is shaking right now. My washer's never been this. Oh my gosh. I'm vibrating right now. Feels kind of nice. So I'll see how much more of this I can get read today. I don't have any live shows or anything, no other commitments, so I'm just gonna see how far I get. About halfway through of The Secret History, I have just reached book 2, and it's still pretty good. Like, I am liking what's just happened. The last chapter, though, was like 100 pages long. Like, the chapters are bloody long. But it's fine because there's enough like chapter breaks within the chapters to not feel like it's too overwhelming. And like I am liking it. It's not really, I feel like because The Secret History has such a reputation, I felt like I would be maybe a little bit more impressed. I mean, it's good. Like, it's kind of a little bit of a slow build, and definitely feels like we're doing more with character than we are with the plot, because every now and then the plot will kick in, but it's like in such a subtle, almost a sinister kind of way. So for instance, the person who ends up dying, who we find out in the very first sentence, but I'll not repeat who it is just in case you've also forgot when I read it out, but the person who died in the first sentence of this book, and that person laughs later on, and just like the way that the narrator says something like, oh, that laughter haunts me to this day still, or something like that. And it was just like little touches like that that's really given it a little bit more, and it adds that creepy, sinister undertone to the narrator, because it is first person. So that's one thing that I really do like about the way that this is written, is that it feels like a proper personal account, so it feels a little bit more real. And yeah, I can't like really follow the writing exactly. I just feel like maybe because I am like 300 pages in now, and like I don't want to say the bare minimum has happened, but the bare minimum has happened. I mean, there are some good parts that builds the connections between characters, but it's like a lot of talking to one another, and there was definitely a lot of that happening, you know, for the longest time until, you know, maybe the main character will overhear a character say this to another character that is suggestive. And it is that suggestion that is a little bit vague, but you kind of have to go with it. Oh, and there was actually a part that made me feel a little bit sick. And it's when one of the characters accidentally steps on some glass, and like the way that the blood is described and stuff, it made me feel a little bit queasy. It's weird because I love horror. I love reading horror books, but any kind of mention of blood in a book makes me feel pretty queasy. I'm also enjoying references to classics, and you know, we had The Invisible Man mentioned, and also how that ties into the main character feeling, or at least trying to be invisible in this environment. And I do like that whenever there is a classic referenced, it has some relevance. Like, it's not just a random name drop of a classic, but actually it's to do with what's going on. So like, yeah, the Invisible Man and the main character feeling invisible and want to be invisible. There was also mention of The Great Gatsby, and it did relate to the main character, but I'm not 100% sure how, because I haven't read The Great Gatsby yet. So I feel like this is the kind of story where it would probably be worth reading the classics that are referenced, so that you can kind of understand what it is that this book is emulating from those classics and how it connects to the characters. And I do like it. I don't love when there's like an overabundance of references to other things, like a lot of literature name drops and stuff. I much prefer it when it actually has something to do with the story, and it feels like whenever there has been a reference, it's kind of relevant. But so far, yeah, Bunny and Henry are probably the two most interesting characters. The others aren't really standing out as much for me, but Henry and Bunny, definitely. I love when there's like not really a straightforward friendship. I love when there's like a little bit more under the surface. So I'm finding that very entertaining. But other than that, I do want to put this down for now. I'm not DNFing it. It's like I've made it halfway through, and it's taken a bit more brain power than I would like right now. And I kind of just want to read something a little bit more mindless, or read a fantasy. Like, I'm in a big fantasy mood at the minute, and so I will come back to this in this vlog. I don't usually stop a book and then read something else and then come back to a book. I much prefer to just like read it from beginning to end. So I don't really have like books on the go, but I feel like I might try that out this year and see how that works for me and my reading style, because it might actually make me appreciate the book a little bit more when I've had like a little bit of space from it, and I can come back to it and read it again when I'm in the mood for it. But definitely in this vlog. I definitely want to finish it in this vlog. But yeah, I just fancy reading something else tonight. So I'm just going to quickly do a randomizer now to see what I'm going to read in between the secret history. So let's randomize. Hopefully fantasy, maybe something I really do fancy reading right now. Oh, horror. Do I fancy a horror right now though? Naomi's Room would be cool, because I think I've had that for about 4 years. It's been on my TBR. You know what, actually, I'm going to randomize maybe 4 times and build the TBR out of that, and then decide what I'm going to read. Maybe. Maybe, is that a good idea? You know, I'm just going to do it. I just what I'm in the mood for. So I'm going to grab this book before I forget what it is. Oh, hiya, Ash. So there's book number 1. Right. What's next? Oh, The Passenger on the Hankyu Line. Arakawa. Okay. Let's grab that one. Abracadabra, abra, na. Cute. Very cute. Randomize again. I just love clicking that button. It just does something to me. Birds of Shangri-La Volume 1. I mean, it's a manga, and it's like literally just right behind me. And it's definitely suggestive. It is romance though, and I just don't... You know, I don't really know if I fancy romance too much right now, you know, after the Game Changer series. But I love that a manga came up. That's pretty cool. I would be in the mood for a manga. Undead and Unwed. That is an ALC, because I have included my audiobooks. Oh, but it's romance. That is an audiobook that I have as an ALC on Libro, because I have added them all on. I'm going to randomize again, because I said I don't really want romance. I don't really want romance, but that could have been so good, because an audiobook would have been cool. I do fancy a little bit of gaming tonight, so let's see what else. Red Seas Under Red Skies. I mean, I do need to read... Oh, I did say I wanted to read a fantasy. Oh, I did say I wanted to do a sequel as well. I literally mentioned this on my reading sprints yesterday, about sequels I needed to read. Let's grab it. It's a big one. Okay, I'm going to put Birds of Shangri-La back, because... Again, romance. I don't really fancy a romance, so that means I've got 3 books. Oh, one more randomized. I just might as well randomize the whole fucking TBR. Let's see. I want Green Rider, to be honest. The Art of Legend, you know what, actually. Obviously, I can't do the 3rd book, because I haven't read the first 2. You know what, actually? The Art of Prophecy was in my 24 books to read in 2024 that I never got to. And I did say, you know what, I do fancy this. Out of all the ones I've just picked, I think I fancy this the most. The Art of Prophecy. Yeah. Yeah. I actually, yes. Okay, so, I mean, while it would be nice to read something like this little petite thing, The Passengers on the Hankyu line, like that could be really cozy and short enough as well. I don't know, I'm really fancying a fantasy. And I said 2 years ago that this would be in my 24 books to read in 2024. It's now 2026. Ha ha ha. Smells good as well. Smells good. So I want to see if I can maybe get the audiobook of this, because I would love to do some gaming tonight, I think. Sit back, relax, maybe play some Legend of Zelda, and then we'll come back to the secret history later. Don't you worry. Okay, quick little update on my phone is that I could not find the Art of Prophecy audiobook anywhere. And I don't want to like spend money or waste a credit or anything like that. And it doesn't even show up on Libro FM anyway. And it says it's unavailable on Everend. So I'm still going to read this. But I wanted an audiobook for a little bit of gaming. So I've gone back to the randomized books that I've had. And I do have the Passengers on the Hankyu line on Spotify. So it's included with my Spotify. So I can listen to this. And it's only a 5.5 hour audiobook as well. And so I want to listen to the audiobook of this next. And then I'll start the Art of Prophecy probably tomorrow. And then we'll go back to the secret history as well. And then, you know, like we'll see where we're at. And I will probably end up picking another book because I'm in such a big reading mood at the minute. But I'm also in a gaming mood. And look who just took my seat as soon as I stood up. Oh. You can have it. I was just going downstairs now anyway. Let's put this over here. There you go. Oh, nearly fell. Hello. 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 Don't worry, I cover it. I cover it. I give you some privacy. There we go. He does like it when I cover it with my dressing gown. So cozy in there, aren't you? So cozy.
I took 5 on the way home. Called you for a little peace of mind. Was out looking for some healing, but it seemed a little hard to find. No man's an island. Do you not see that I need you as you need me? A year, month, any weekend is no match for my loyalty. I'm sweet jumping to your defense. Question, would you do the same for me? They say distance can make the heart grow fonder, but for you I wonder, cause if I'm not by your side, are you still on mine? I was on the way down, I've been on my knees this whole week, so when I need you most, will you be my echo? I was feeling drowned out, searching for some sweet relief, so when I need you most, will you be my echo? Will you be my echo? You don't have to move a mountain, just take a little weight off me. Fix up and be about it, cause my love is not a one-way street. They say distance can make the heart grow fonder, but for you I wonder, cause if I'm not by your side, are you still on mine? I was on the way down, I've been on my knees this whole week, so when I need you most, will you be my echo? I was feeling drowned out, searching for some sweet relief, so when I need you most, will you be my echo? drowned out, searching for some sweet relief. So when I need you most, will you be my echo? 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 Will you be my
I have just done my 150th personal training session today, and I'm feeling so happy and proud of that. I've also somehow managed to do 10,700 steps before 11 a.m. And I think I'm going to try and do a challenge every day in February where I get around about 10,000 steps before noon every single day. I feel like that could be a really good little challenge. I just want to change things up a little bit and just like keep myself active and fit. And I'm honestly feeling so amazing. Like seriously, mental health amazing, general health amazing, apart from maybe the fact that I might have an anal fissure. I'm just saying. But I made myself a coffee and I'm ready to give you some updates because it's been a couple of days and I've just been having a really nice little time, honestly. And I say, mate, Ash, don't you dare start eating there. Don't you dare start eating. I can't do it. I got misophonia. Well, I've got selective misophonia. I'm absolutely fine listening to my ASMR boyfriend nibble my ears, you know what I mean? So what do I need to update you on? I did listen to the entirety of the audiobook for The Passengers on the Hankyu line, and I wasn't the biggest fan of this. And I did actually go back a couple of chapters because when I first started listening to it, I couldn't pay attention too much. So I slowed the speed down to 1.8, which is rather slow-ish for me. And I went back a couple of chapters and I listened to it again as I was playing Breath of the Wild. And I just didn't like, I found it so boring. But also I was expecting this to hopefully incorporate more of the actual train line. I would have loved to have learned a little bit more about the train itself and the line that it's going on, like the connections and things. But the only thing really is that we just have passengers coming on and off and their stories are connected, they're giving their stories. And some of the stories I wasn't really loving, because one of the stories was about a woman who was being abused, and like I love the fact that she asked for help, but there is like a lot of rationalizing in this as well that isn't like advocated for. Like it's obviously like a really difficult subject and everyone's going to take to it in different ways, but like for instance there was a lot of but like this is why he does it, and there's like a little bit of not forgiveness, but there's a little bit of like trying to rationalize it. And I will say though that it is combated and it isn't something that I think is applauded either, like absolutely not. But I just wasn't really wanting a story like that. I was hoping for something a little bit more cozy and something a little bit more, I don't know, easygoing. It came across as a little bit too much for me emotionally, I think. And I didn't really care about the other characters. Like I was really proud of this woman for being able to ask for help and you know, look at things a lot differently. I was so proud. But a lot of this other stories, it's just like a whole lot of relationship drama, and I wasn't bothered, honestly. But I'm glad I listened to the entire thing as I was playing Breath of the Wild. Honestly, I'm loving playing some video games right now. Something that I've been missing doing, honestly. But this month has definitely been incredible in terms of balancing my hobbies and things. Now that I'm doing one vlog a week, you know, it took nearly all month to build the Lego Disney Castle, which I have over there. Like, it took me all month to build that, but I wasn't rushing. Like, I wasn't, like, trying to finish it for a specific time. I wasn't trying to finish it before the end of a video or anything. It took me about 3 to nearly 4 weeks to build it. And I was just doing it when I had the time and when I just wanted to do it. And it's the same with the gaming. I will continue to do that when I have the time. So coupling Breath of the Wild, which I have played before, but I never got very far. In fact, I'm now up to the part where I stopped playing years ago. So I'm kind of going ahead blind now. I don't know what I need to do next, to be honest, but I'm loving it so much. But I was loving that experience playing it, but I wasn't loving the audiobook for this. So I'm going to give this one 2 stars and it will be getting tossed. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be doing my next Unhaul. I don't want to do it anytime soon, to be honest. I want to build things up a little bit. I want to read the books first and then decide whether they're getting tossed, whether it's in this vlog or in other vlogs. And yeah, unfortunately, this was like a big miss for me. I was really hoping for something different. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe it's on me. But yeah, yesterday, I ended up taking the day to read some manga because I was feeling behind after my Heated Rivalry vlog took double the amount of time to edit than it should have done. And I was supposed to read volume 14 and 15 of Spy Family last week, like at the end of last week, and get the video out on my manga channel for last week. But yesterday, it's Friday today, yesterday I ended up doing, I ended up going into the gym by myself because I've stopped doing Thursday sessions. And I also have my Spy Family mug as well, just to matchy match. But I filmed an entire Spy Family vlog yesterday reading these 2 volumes, and I loved both of them. Like, it was so good. So it's nice to break it up a little bit as well with the manga, and it's so nice and short. Like, the vlog is only 27 minutes, which is so short for me, and that's what I want to keep doing with my manga channel, is doing like the shorter, you know, chilled and spoiler-filled reading vlogs. So 2 more books there, but it's not part of Emboss or Tartt, but I just thought I would mention what I've been up to and stuff. But now I do have live shows all weekend. I have a live show tonight, True Crime and Wine Night at 7 p.m. It is currently 12, so I have 7 hours. I'm hoping to read all of this, well, finish it, not all of it, but like, I do think I could potentially finish it in the next 7 hours. So that's what I want to do. I was going to start the Wesley Chu book, but I did read Spy Family yesterday, and I did read The Passengers on the Hankyu line the day before. So I have had a nice little break from this. I do think it's time for me to come back to this. I do feel ready for it. I feel in the mood for it. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sitting here at my kitchen table, and I'm going to be drinking my lovely, lovely coffee at midday, and it's going to be lush. It's going to be absolutely lush. But I don't know how this is going to go, but guys, I don't know if I'm going to end up embossing it. And so far, I've been tossing every book I've been reading so far in this vlog. But it's got to be done, you know. I'm glad the randomizer has given me these books, because I need to see if I'm going to like them before I decide to toss them or emboss them. And unfortunately, I don't think I have an emboss yet. I'm still pretending that I've just turned 30, so don't mind me. Oh hiya Ash, I have poured myself some pink Moscato, which now I keep thinking of Espresso by Sabrina Carbonet every single time I think pink Moscato, because of that hit song that I made up myself a few weeks ago. I'll insert the clip here in case you missed it.
Now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, I'm gonna open some pink Moscato so he can sleep. Baby, I know it's that pink Moscato. Move it up, down, left, right, oh. Switch it up, 'cause I'm a hoe.
But this is bloody lovely. Again, Steph loves, thank you so much. Along with the jammy red roux, this hits the G spot. Anyway, it's not long until my True Crime and Wine Night. Oh my God. My friend has literally just sent me an article saying Catherine O'Hara dies at 71. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gutted. I shouldn't have opened that freaking message just before I was going to give an update on the secret history. Oh, I just watched Home Alone a few weeks ago as well. Like, I watch it every Christmas. Right, well, that's put an absolute bummer on the night. So yeah, I'm going to try and... I literally opened my phone so I could get my notes up as well. Could he not have texted us after I did my update? Anyway, I have finished the secret history, and I'll give it like 2.5 stars. I was locked in from pages like 200 to 450. there's a really good chunk of things happening during that time, and it made the story like really exciting to follow. And I love seeing the characters squirm. It was really challenging them in how they would face certain situations, and I'm thrown. And I love seeing a scenario where I don't think I would ever be in that scenario. Bloody fingers crossed. Ash, come on, I need snuggles. I need snuggles. And so seeing people do things that I would never do, but seeing like how they kind of problem solve and handle that situation is interesting to me. But I wasn't really a big fan of characters anyway. Oh, there was one like really gay moment and I was like, oh, you have my attention. And then Donna Tartt said, fuck your attention. I don't want it. So like that was kind of like a flyby part. Thank you, Ash. Don't spill my pink Moscato. Oh, and he's heard Tobo, so he's ran. Yeah, the main plot happened at the midpoint, and this is over 600 pages long. So by the end of it, we're running on fumes. There's only so many times I can hear someone's like inner reflections in how often I need to hear about the main guilty. There's only so many times Donna Tartt can rewrite the same paragraph just with different words. And I don't think Richard was probably like the best main character for us to follow. I do think maybe Henry would have been better, because Richard, a lot of the times he would just ask a whole lot of questions and it would be like a Q&A between him and Henry. And so I do think Henry would have been a much better main character. I mean, not that I really liked, well, anyone, but it still would have been a lot more interesting to follow him rather than Richard, to be quite honest. And there were enough paragraph breaks in these mega long chapters that are 100 to 150 pages long. There are a lot of paragraph breaks, which does break it up. It does help a little bit, but it was still just overtly long. This is an already exhausting novel, and to make matters worse, having the chapters be as long as they were, and usually I don't really mind too much if a chapter is too long, but I need you to help me out here, especially when, you know, once we have like police investigations, once we have the characters bouncing back and forth, what they're saying and what they're doing, I needed them to shut up. I needed something to have happened in the last like 200 pages. I needed a respite. I needed a reprieve from those mega long, exhausting chapters. And you know that Kim Woodburn meme when she's like, you're just looking for something to say, love. You're talking tripe. You know, that's what I ended up feeling like by the end of this book. I'm sorry, I don't think, I mean, I did like If We Were Villains, so I'm like, maybe Dark Academia can work for me sometimes. But this is one of those cases where I just didn't think it worked for me. So I might have to say I'm going to give up on Dark Academia. If I have any more on my shelves, I will have a second look at them and I will determine whether or not I actually genuinely want to read it anymore. Because I do think I still have a couple more on my shelves, so we may have to re-examine that, or I might do a vlog. Do I like Dark Academia, or do I need to bin the entire genre? That could be a good one. Oh my god, for like the last 2 minutes I think I just forgot Catherine O'Hara died. Oh, and now I remember again. So yeah, 2.5, because I'm telling you, between the pages of 200 to like 450, I was rather gripped. I was actually kind of enjoying what was happening. But this is getting tossed. Another book that's getting tossed. This is the third book in this vlog, right? Yeah, and it's getting tossed. 3 for 3. Can we make it 4 for 4? I hope not. I really do want to enjoy the art of... Oh my god, I've forgotten it. The Art of Prophecy. I do really hope that one is going to be a massive win and we're going to get our first Emboss in this video. I don't want this video to end until I've gotten an Emboss, okay? So we're going to continue on, I'm going to soldier on. And I do have pretty much all day reading sprints tomorrow with my members. I'm starting at like 2 p.m. my time and I'll be going till probably around about 10 p.m. So that's pretty much all day Saturday. And I will start the Art of Prophecy then. It is the Art of Prophecy, isn't it? It's not the Art of Legacy. No, I think that's the third one. So let's get set up for this True Crime and Why Night. We're watching Kidnapped, Elizabeth Smart on Netflix. And yeah, I was supposed to do this live show last Saturday, but that was when I had my hard drive issues and everything went to shit.
Broke into Smart's house. Okay. Took Elizabeth. Okay.
There's actually some sunshine today. Yay! First day in like a week. We've actually had sky. Oh, hallelujah. I am just about ready for my sprints. They're happening in 6 minutes. So I've decided to sprint from my living room today because it's actually really nice outside. And it's the first time I've had actual daylight. probably for about a week. It's been so overcast, so rainy. So this is actually like really nice for today. It is nearly 2 p.m. and I will be probably spending for about 8 hours today. So I'm starting with a nice cup of coffee with my Charlotte Claire mug that I got for Christmas. And I am about to start The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. And I am so excited because I've been in such a fantasy mood, but I have been reading a lot of romance recently, so this will be so great to get back on it. I mean, I know the Elsewhere Express was also pretty much fantasy, but I'm talking the hard stuff, you know? According to the summary, there's a character called Jian. There is a prophecy in this one, of course, and they're fated to defeat the immortal Eternal Khan and save the kingdom. But I think this is actually more of an ensemble cast. I think there's a band of heroes who come together. So that'll be like really interesting, really cool. And I don't really know a whole lot of people who've read this. I do know Jade, my love Jade from JD Reads. She does really enjoy this book. So it should be a good time. Together the four embark on a journey more wondrous than any prophecy could foresee. See, I'm so excited for that. Like, that sounds so good. Love the map at the start there as well. That looks amazing. Got the lovely Waterstones edition. And I also have the second and third book as Waterstones editions as well. So I need to make a move and read this. Oh, Wesley Chu wrote a Walking Dead book. The Walking Dead Typhoon. I have faith that this will be my first emboss of the video. Maybe only emboss. Happy first day of February. I'm hoping the second month of 2026 will be so much better than the first. I mean, reading wise, impeccable start of the year, but outside of that, oh gosh. So I do just quickly want to say that I fully oppose ICE. I think they're absolutely fucking awful. And I will put a link in the description box for ways that you can help or to just bring more awareness about how shit and fucking awful they are. Probably shouldn't be saying that in a video considering I am going to America next month. But I know my morals and ICE have really been absolutely fucking awful so far in 2026. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I do love reading fantasy so much. I love seeing like the bad guys start to get their comeuppance. And it just feels like in real life, a lot of the bad guys just seem to keep winning. And that's just so disheartening and so discouraging. So hopefully to all of my American friends who are watching, I am hoping you're keeping safe. I hope your family is safe. And I am praying that the rest of 2026 will hopefully be a lot better than how the year started. And hopefully I can help be a little bit of an escape as well for you too. So I did get 150 pages into The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu yesterday during my reading sprints. I was live for exactly 8 hours. It got to like 7 hours and 55 minutes and I was like, no, we're going to continue on until it hits 8 hours because I'm not ending the live show now. So I have been really enjoying this, but I think I'm going to edit out my synopsis of what this book is about from yesterday. So I did have that little bit before my live show where I told you what the book's about, and I pretty much read what's on the inside jacket, But I feel like it would actually be better to go into this without reading that, because all the things that happens in the first paragraph of that summary happens in the first like 80 pages of the book, and it is exciting and it is good, but I feel like you'd probably get a lot more out of it if you don't read the summary. It's a little bit like The Second Death of Locke. There is a twist written in the summary of that book on the inside dust jacket, and I didn't read that before going into the book, and I was flabbergasted by the twist. I absolutely freaking loved it. And yet when I mentioned this in a live show, a book club live show for it, everyone was like, yeah, we already knew it was in the summary, and I was like, are you kidding me? So I do think maybe, which is hard though, because I feel like if you didn't have that, this would sound a little bit generic, like a little bit of a generic fantasy. So I understand from a marketing perspective, they probably wanted to hook readers into actually picking the book up. But I feel like if you, it's so hard to talk about because yeah, like it does flip some things on its head. And I like what it does with the chosen one trope. And it's definitely moving in a direction that I'm actually very excited to continue reading. It is split into acts, and I finished Act 1 yesterday, and I'm a little ways through Act 2. Yeah, there is that prophesized hero, and he's called Jian, I think it's pronounced. It's hard when I'm reading a fantasy book and I don't have an audiobook to go with it because, yeah, I can't really know the pronunciations off the top of my head, but I think it's Jian. And yeah, he comes across as such a rather spoiled kind of childlike character. He is in his teenage years. He reminds me a little bit actually of the main character in the Dragonborn chair, whose name I've kind of forgotten now. I really do need to continue that series before I forget anymore. Reminds me kind of a little bit of him. And also Taishi as well. She is the unorthodox mentor-like character. And she reminds me a little bit of Anna from The Tainted Cup. The way that she comes across, the way her humor is, how she takes no shit from no one. And I freaking love her. I think she's my favorite character. And yeah, Taishi, she just comes in guns a-blazing and rules the roost, essentially. She just takes no shit from anyone and just has a little bit of a comeback to every situation. She knows what should be done. And, you know, she might come across as a little bit forceful, but she knows what she wants and needs, and I respect that in a character. And the plot has definitely kicked off now, but like I'm very wary about saying what that is, considering what happens in the first paragraph of the summary happens in the first like 80 pages, which I think is a good chunk of the book, and I think it would be worthwhile not spoiling that. But it's going in a good direction now, I think, and it's definitely making me a little bit more on edge for the rest of the book because I'm not 100% sure where the direction is going, but I kind of know a basic goal, and I do like to have something that I can read and understand when it comes to fantasy, because it could go in any direction. There's so a million opportunities for a fantasy book to go in any direction whatsoever. So it's nice to have a little bit of a clear-cut goal now, and I kind of know. And also there's just like something a little bit fishy afoot as well. So I'm very excited to see how that plays into it. If there is a little bit more of a look into the more governmental kind of roles in this story and what they kind of offer the story in general in order to change things up, I think it'll be really good. I think it'll be so good. And no, this is definitely one that I'm super, super enjoying. So far, I don't want to jinx anything, but so far my favorite read for Emboss or Toss this episode. I've got pictures of some of my favorite parts on here as well, because I didn't want to risk writing in the book and then potentially tossing it. But now I'm thinking maybe I should go back and underline all the things that I've been enjoying so far. But yeah, just one spoiler-free thing to say about Taishi and like her humor and how she takes no shit from anyone. So there are different masters who have been training the like chosen one, and she thinks they're doing a shit job. And one of them says, Master Ling believes we have been deficient in your training. She feels some of us have dedicated our lives to you aren't necessary, added Sun. She implied that we are poor and ineffective masters, said Hilly. She went as far to accuse me of being a fraud, added Zhang. Now, said Faru. I'm sure the emissary wasn't being literal. Taishi sneered, oh no, I was. The lot of you frauds and psychophans are a pathetic disgrace to your titles and stations. Like, she is so direct, and I freaking love that. I love how she just says what's on her mind, no holding back. She knows there's too much at stake to be trying to blow smoke up anyone's ass. So I'm going to sit and enjoy my coffee. I'm going to read as much as I can. I do have another live show at 4:30 p.m. We're watching Return of the King Extended, and that is a 4-hour-long movie. So I have about 5 hours before then. I think I'll get close to finishing. I don't think I'll finish. But it's a very fantasy heavy day considering I'm watching Lord of the Rings later. Oh my god, I feel like such a fitness influencer. But I've just had a Gymshark haul. I just got a couple of things, well, 3 things from Gymshark recently because it has been so cold. Like, really freaking cold. And so I've been looking at getting more base layers to keep me warm. And so I got a couple of base layers, including ones to go under my shorts. So I thought let's do a little try on. Also, my wardrobe door is always open for the cats. Currently have Tobu lying like literally just right there, lying down there on a single bed blanket. Oh, this is definitely tight. Holy crap. Right, okay, good. This, I think, is supposed to be as tight as it is, unless I got a size too small. And then the base layer shorts as well. Oh, I feel like I could go on a run right now, which actually I think I will. I'm just good at that I don't have an audiobook for the art of prophecy. I could have done 10,000 steps on my walking pad with the audiobook, but I don't freaking have the audiobook. It's not available in my country. This is not one that I've just bought. This is a one that I've had for a while. But just to go underneath and it definitely fits. It feels great. Okay, good. They have like light green shorts that I've had for a while as well. Just to see what this is like. There we go. Yeah, that feels great. And then the last thing I got was this white one. It's like a white long sleeve base layer. This is not sponsored, by the way. And then the white long sleeve one as well. Fits pretty nicely. And then underneath as well, how does it look? Does it look silly? Does it look stupid? I mean, the black and the white, I don't know. But I guess it works. So I might take a break from reading and do a little bit of running on my walking pad just to break into the new gear, since it is supposed to be a restful Sunday and I'm not leaving the house. I'm not leaving the house today. Sorry for disturbing you, baby boy. I'm sorry. Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you.
So strange, names and shapes all starts to change, but I see you clearly, like ink on a page. You'll be my pick of the day. Burn the lights and climb real high. Don't be scared, 'cause I'll be there. Let's go together.
Well, after 3 days, I have finally finished The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu, and finally we have an emboss. We do. I'm going to be embossing this. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited for the sequel, and hopefully I can get a chance to read that as soon as possible. But there was lots of subverting expectations in this book where you would think a lot of it would be quite generic, but it actually worked for me. It really, really worked for me. So that is the first book in the War Arts series, Embossed. I love it. Well, maybe I wouldn't go as far as saying I love it. I definitely still had some of my kind of pacing gripes with this, but it wasn't perfect and it didn't really need to be to me. It just needed to entertain the hell out of me, and it really did. I had a really busy, hectic weekend, and this was a lovely little escape in between doing my live shows, in between playing Breath of the Wild, in between reading. So it was so good. I love as well a lot of the female characters who came into this. A lot of great like female warriors, and I again like loved Teishi, the main character too. I really wish that the audiobook was available in my country because I would really love to learn pronunciations and things. Maybe the sequels are, but this one, you just can't get anywhere. I think there was like some kind of expired license or something. And this has been out since I think 2022, so it's been a little while. I don't think I have really many more thoughts to share. I feel like I've been talking about this book for days because I've been reading it for days. It reminded me a little bit of A Hero Born, which was one of my favorite books of 2025, which was Wuxia inspired. And Wuxia is like kind of like more martial arts, and I feel like this definitely had a lot of that. And I was just being reminded of A Hero Born, which is another series that I was absolutely freaking loving, and I'm waiting for the sequel of that to come from the Broken Binding. I've pre-ordered it. I'm just waiting for them to, you know, ship it. I don't know when it's actually getting shipped, but I would love to read the sequel of that, read the sequel of this, and I do kind of want to do a sequel to my Emboss Toss sequels episode so that I can get to these series again. I mean, I can do it whenever I want, really. Like, I'm not forcing myself to have to wait for videos in 2026 to read books that I want to read. So lots of stuff that I loved from A Hero Born I found in this, but this was like more, I guess, current. You know, A Hero Born was written a longer time ago, but this one I would say, like, if you love the idea of A Hero Born, but you're kind of intimidated by the date that it came out, then maybe this one would be a lot better for you. And yeah, just a lot of fun was had. I really enjoyed it. Embossed. Happy for the eventual win, because what is that, 4 books? 3 tosses, 1 embosses. Randomiser, randomiser, you're a randomiser, baby. You are, you are. Randomiser, randomiser, randomiser. I think I do want to do one more book though. I don't want this vlog to go too long because I feel like every single vlog I've uploaded in 2026 so far has been over 1 hour, over 2 hours long. And I do want to break it up a little bit with like some like smaller videos as well. So I do want to do another book though. I do want to do another book. And I am going to randomize until I get a book that I'm definitely 100% want to read like right now. So that's probably defeating the objective again, the randomizer, but let's randomize a baby. Let's see what we're potentially reading. And I could have done one of the Whistling by Rebecca Netley. Okay. I was going to say, like, I could have done the, like, Naomi's Room or one of the other books that I got when I was doing randomizers. Okay, I'm going to do it a couple more times. I actually wouldn't mind reading The Whistling because I began reading that in 2022 and I was reading it at the Haunted Castle, but I didn't finish it. So I would start from the beginning because I was liking it from what I remember anyway. I remember liking the start of it. So I would actually do that. But let's do it again where I randomize a few and then I pick which one out of those. So The Whistling is one. I want one where I'm just like, okay, yes, that is like definitely the one that I want. You know, like in the words of Grease. Voidwalker, I mean, that does look pretty good, but I don't know if I'm in the mood. I put romantasy for it as my genre. Some of my genres might be wrong. I was looking on like Goodreads Storygraph and Pagebound and stuff when I was like filling in genres and stuff for my spreadsheet. I don't think I fancy that right now, I'm afraid though. It does look good, but I don't fancy it right now. So The Whistling by Rebecca Netley is still... The Hollow by Agatha Christie. See, I'm about to do a solve along at the end of this week for Cards on the Table, so that is already doing an Agatha Christie book this week. And I don't think I want to do another Agatha Christie book right now. So, well, we'll do one more randomized, and if it's not the one, I'm doing The Whistling by Rebecca Netley. Betwixt. Oh, so like a manga. I mean, can we do both? You know what, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do Betwixt because that'll not take me too long to get through. And I will also do the Whistling. Let's do it. Let's do that. And I was going to save this for a video for my manga channel. However, this isn't like Junji Ito. He did the introduction for it, I believe. Yeah, he wrote the foreword, but I don't think he has an actual story in this. This is a horror manga anthology of different mangakas. So we have one by Ryo Hinada, and we have one by Aoki Shimizu. You know, so like it's different people. It's not Junji Ito, but I do have it in my Junji Ito section because it just fits. It fits in with my Junji Ito section, so that's why it's there. But yeah, I can do this first. I can probably blast through this today. And then I do have reading sprints tomorrow, so I could probably save some of the Whistling for tomorrow. And I started this like 3.5 years ago. We follow Elspeth, and she takes up a nanny position on a Scottish island of Skelthsea, which I've never been before. Is it a real place? I think it is. Former nanny disappeared. She's looking after a troubled child, and the troubled child had a twin brother who died. And so weird ghostly shenanigans begin happening. And it does sound like a few other like thrillers that I've read. So this is, I believe, supposed to be paranormal. So it could be pretty good. I was liking it from what I remember. I only just ran out of time. I ran out of time because I had to leave the Haunted Castle, so that's my little end of Emboss or Toss TBR. Yeah, I feel like 6 books is a good little number. Okay, I've just sat and read all of Betwixt, and it was a little bit shit. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit shit. I was a little bit concerned when I logged it on Storygraph and Pagebound, because the ratings on those sites, not the best. And I do like to mark things as currently reading before I start a book, so it was unavoidable seeing the ratings. So yeah, I mean, it's just a confusing mess. All of the stories, there's 6 of them. I did like how this was formatted. So with Japanese manga, you read it like back to front. So you start like front. So say this is like a normal hardback, you would start it this way, right? But with Japanese manga, you usually start on the back and then do it that way. You can do it both ways. You can actually do it, which I do like the genius of that. So there are 3 like Japanese manga translated into English in the back, so you read it like a normal Japanese manga, but then at the front there are 3 English authors who have done their stories, and you read that like front to back to front. I'm getting myself all confused. But to be fair, this whole thing was confusing, but I do like that you would like flip it round so you could read the stories. That was very good. Only really good thing about it, to be quite honest. And yeah, like I did like Junji Ito's introduction. It did introduce the theme of things being betwixt, things being in between. And I do think, yeah, pretty much every story, you know, sold that theme very well. But I didn't like a single story, I'm not going to lie. That first Japanese story at the back here, it was just like, there were like 5 twists. And by the end of it, it was just like, why? Why? It just made it so confusing and so random. In fact, all 6 of the stories felt rather random. And I know you do get that with short stories. They are very short and they should be punchy. And sometimes they don't really have conclusive endings or anything like that. But I just feel like I read 6 stories that said a whole lot of nothing. I wasn't really even entertained by them either. And a lot, I would probably say like 4 out of 6 of the stories are stories that I've kind of already read before. You know, like we have one that is about a mirror and your reflection kind of taking over. I've read 100 stories like that before. There's one about someone else taking over your body as well. I literally just read that as well in this book. There's a really short one just about a ghost, and another one about a ghost, and then another one about a ghost. I just felt barely anything reading this. It was nothing inspiring. There was nothing inspired about it. And I didn't really get scared. I didn't think any of the visuals were scary enough. Apart from one thing, I do think this was perhaps the scariest part, where the guy is sleeping, the guy who can say ghost is sleeping, and a woman with no arms, and obviously has been injured quite a fair bit, appears in the corner of the room. That was very scary. But I will say, the whole solution of that story, which I'll not spoil, it's like, why did the main character decide to do that in the first place? And a lot of the times, the characters in these short stories were doing things that were just so frustrating, because I'm like, you could avoid all of this if you just don't do that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It was kind of frustrating, very disappointing. Like, I really did want at least a couple of good stories out of this, because Junji Ito himself can do some really amazing short story horror manga, and this was nothing like that. I do wish Junji Ito had at least one story in this, but he didn't. He just had the foreword that he wrote to set it up. But like, no, there was just really nothing I really enjoyed, to be honest. I was thinking of giving it a 2-star, but I don't know why, because it's not really, it may even just be a 1. Like, I was so utterly disappointed by the lack of originality. But 1 star feels so evil though. It's like not one of the worst things I've ever read. Okay, maybe 2 stars. I don't think 1 star sits right with me in my gut. I think 1.5. 1.5. Yeah, no, 1.5, because I do think there was that one bit that did scare me a little bit, you know? And I like the forward. I like the introduction. And I did like the format of this being one that you flip around. And the cover design is pretty great too. I do like that. But this will be getting tossed. I will not be keeping this. And if this had had a short story by Junji Ito in this, I would have been more inclined to keep it, because I have my Junji Ito collection. But there's no point keeping this. Junji Ito doesn't do a story. There's no point keeping it. And I don't often unhaul manga, so this is kind of upsetting. I don't really want to start the whistling. I want to save that for sprints tomorrow. I don't really want to game tonight either. I do still have an episode left of Jet Lag the game. They're currently playing Hide and Seek UK. And there's only 1 episode I need to watch now on Nebula, so I'm going to do that. Watch the finale, and maybe have like a little snack as well, even though it is currently 9 p.m. I really should not be eating at this time, but it's fine. I'm a little snackish. Betwixt did not make me scared. It made me hungry. Although I think I might kill 2 girls with 1 cup by maybe listening to the audiobook of The Whistling and play more Breath of the Wild. No, I want to watch Jet Lag the game. It's only 9 p.m. Maybe I could do that after. You guys are going to think this is weird, but I've just heated up butternut squash soup. And I'm going to pour it into this so I can drink it through a straw. I love drinking soup through straws, okay? I can't have it any other way. Over 10 years ago, I had double jaw surgery, and I lived off drinking soup through straws. And I've just never looked back. Good morning. It is last day of Emboss Toss today. Isn't it, Ash? Are you excited? Are you excited for last day of Emboss Toss? Are you? Are you? I think he is. I think he is. Yes, he is. I've decided to come to the gym because it's really, really quiet right now. And I've got the audiobook for The Whistling on Spotify. And so far, so good. Don't have sprints for another like 5 hours. So let's do it. So I don't actually have great news for the final book in this vlog. I think I'm going to DNF it. Yeah, this is the kind of book where it's literally screaming, "Go girl, give us nothing." I am 211 pages in, and not only am I pretty much bored out of my mind, but I don't really think I like the main character all that much, and I don't really like following her story. And the plot is still showing how it is very similar to a lot of other plots in thrillers of, you know, a child who's gone through some trauma, and there's a new nanny that's been brought in, and that nanny now has to navigate these new secrets of the family. But yeah, I don't think I care anymore. And I was listening to the audiobook on Spotify when I went to the gym, and it was like a really nice, lovely little thing to do. I could concentrate on my workout while listening to it. I will say though, the gym was dead, but I was working out and literally 4 hot men came in, all, you know, on their own at different times. And I was just bombarded with these hot men. I was like, freaking hell. So that could probably account for why I was maybe a little bit distracted as well. Because, geez. Anyway, I digress. Like, one of the reasons why I don't think I really like the main character is that, like, she overhears a conversation about herself. This is no spoilers, but she overhears a conversation. The main character, Elspeth, she did ask about the death of the young boy, and she was told, "Oh, don't ask about it." So she asks about it, and then she overhears a couple of the staff talking about her behind her back about it, and she's like, "Oh, I wonder why they don't like me." I mean, I've dealt with this before where I've been so good at my job that people have been talking about me and stuff like that. And like, literally, the reason why people are talking about you now is because they've asked you to keep your nose out of it, to mind your own business. And you're jumping to that conclusion. And that was pretty early on as well. I think it was like the end of chapter 4. Yeah, they say Miss Gillies has made it quite clear William is never to be talked of. And Greer says she's the sort of person who won't let things be questions. And Elspeth, because this is first person, says, whatever was said next was drowned out by the chat room of a Pete Booker, but my instinct was right, and Greer clearly found something about me to dislike. I wonder what had drawn so early her displeasure, but perhaps it was just jealousy of my elevated status or the fact that my occupancy would cause extra work. She thinks she doesn't like her because of her elevated status? When she's literally just said she's the sort of person who won't let things be questions. Miss gives me quite clear William is never to be told of, and yet Elspeth is talking about William. Like, I don't know, it seems like a bit of a self-inflated ego, and I haven't really been enjoying the kind of mystery aspect of it as well, because it really does feel like a whole lot of suggestive stuff and not actual tangible stuff, which could go hand in hand with something paranormal, but I don't know if I trust that this story is going to go in a satisfying direction, you know what I mean? So I don't really want to force myself to read another like 200 pages of this, even though the writing is massive, the margins are massive, and there are actual blank pages before the chapters. So this is a quick read. I would be able to get this done in a couple of hours potentially. I just don't think I want to do it. I really don't think I want to do it. And this has been on my TBR since 2022. I did start it 3.5 years ago. So I guess it's probably a good thing that I didn't finish it at the Haunted Castle. It would have been a little bit of a bummer, I think. I mean, who knows, maybe I would have enjoyed it more then, but some of it was fine. I did like the atmosphere of Skelsey, but I didn't really see enough of it because now we're just being bogged down by the family and their history and their story and their mysteries and their secrets. And I just don't really care anymore. So it will be getting tossed. Take the bookmark out. So these are the books I managed to read in Emboss or Toss episode 9. Elsewhere Express is getting tossed. Passengers on the Hankyu line is getting tossed. The Secret History is getting tossed. Art of Prophecy is embossed. Betwixt is getting tossed. And The Whistling is getting tossed. So one book in this video I have embossed and will keep and plan on continuing the series. So again, it's never really a failure when I've managed to get 6 books off my owned TBR. So I'm very happy about that. But that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below too. Let me know what you thought of the books. Let me know what you thought of the video. Anything you want to chat about, chat to me in the comments. I want to give a huge thank you to my members for supporting my channel. If you like join my membership, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.